singing in the rain, I'm singing in the rain, with a glorious feeling, I'm happy again. uh, Greetings to the fellow YouTubers. Hello, hello. I covered my one eye, I'm Illuminati. That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the music industry, the modern music industry, and I want to talk about modern entertainment with movies and stuff. Since I've been Mandela affected, I've always been looking into always a lot more interesting esoteric stuff, more on the bright progressive side instead of before the Mandela effect, a lot of more fear-mongering conspiracy videos on YouTube that you can find endlessly on end. So you can't grow up in this generation, elder millennial if you will, born in '93. You can't grow up without hearing about the Illuminati and controlling everything. But see, here's the thing. It's something about the tone, the frequency of music. It makes me so much more sensitive than it used to. And I'm curious to know if you as a light worker, starseed, Mandela affected individual, whatever, labels are just labels. You as a human being that feels that this society is really nutty. Do you feel as if the music is something you just can't really... I'm not saying all music, but definitely most music on the mainstream radio and stuff, you know. Having said that, shout out to KZFR. They're a local radio station. They're badass. They're community radio. They've also been helping out a lot with the campfire victims. It's a traumatizing process my community's going through. So shout out and love to all of that. But having said that, ever since a young age, I was like, I'd be with other friends in high school being like, man, I wish we could, like, you know, travel the dead, live in the 60s. That's when things were really going on, right? I never really got into modern music nearly as much. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love all kinds of different bands, you know, Red Hot Chili Peppers and Beck, more like when it comes to for some reason, particularly post 2000, the music becomes more obviously shallow. It becomes the same old nonsensical bullshit. Like I'm a spoken word poet and I love hip-hop, but I love conscientious hip-hop. Like, usually the stuff I'm looking for is underground because that's where it has a true message, where it feels like when it's obvious the mind control that is perpetrated with the frequencies and the vibrations with all of the technology we have today. I think that's what I'm getting at. I think it comes down to the Sophia frequency, the 432 hertz, and if you haven't heard about that, just YouTube 432 hertz. Around the time of World War II, in layman's terms, the cabal, the Nazi party, whatever, I forget specifically, it doesn't matter. Point is, they changed the universal tuning from 432 hertz to 445 hertz, 440 hertz, I mean. And that tuning is completely isolated from complete connection to cosmic consciousness, Gaia consciousness. There's something about the 432 frequency. I can't explain it. If you haven't heard about it, look at various videos. There's so many great videos out there explaining this. It synchronizes perfectly, mathematically speaking, with everything else. Mathematically, it aligns to our reality. So when we tune our instruments off of that, then there's a lot of disturbance, there's a lot of detachment, there's a lot of chaos. And as I'm proceeding along with this awakening, if you will, it feels hubris to call it that, honestly. Just seeing through the veil. My body physiologically can't take it anymore. I get frustrated. I was getting antsy earlier before I went up to visit my property up in Magalia because they finally opened the roads in Paradise, California. Um, so while doing that, people around my own age, which I feel like an old man saying this because I feel like most people my own age are pretty childish. Anyways, they're listening to modern just hip hop music on the radio and stuff. R&B. Like, I don't have a problem with these genres at all, but when it comes to the stuff that's pumped through relentlessly through the music industry, it just flips me out. It feels like it's an attack on my energy. So with that, I'm just like, it's hard to explain to the conventional person. It's hard to explain to your day-to-day, people that are like, yeah, I can't really listen to watch movies anymore, or listen to this music just because, or drinking. I'm done. I'm done drinking alcohol, and that's very easy for me because I've never had a problem with alcohol. It's just, it seems completely, I feel like I'm at that point, and I'm sure, and I bless you and much love to you, if you two are feeling like you're at the point where you have to truly let go of that which doesn't serve you. And unfortunately, I feel like part of this path of awakening, if you want to call it that, is coming to the cold-hearted truth that the majority of what everyone does and what everyone consumes, it's not right. It doesn't serve us, and furthermore, it's more obvious to me than ever before that it's just controlling. It's that sense of we are shifting parallel universes. We are going into, like, Pleiadian channelers from 1987 to 2012 would explain that we live now in the dimension of the flowering of consciousness. So therefore, oh man, really, I have that much space on my freaking phone? Sorry, that's irrelevant. And with that, I'm absolutely convinced, 111%, that the tyranny we're seeing, all of it, it's like Jimi Hendrix once saying, baby, all castles made of sand fall to the sea eventually, and owe to the cold and honest truth of gravity. With her unapologetic ways, all that rises must fall, especially when it is not aligned to our birthright, and it is not aligned to our conscientious evolutionary development, which, once again, as our mother taught us, the world's not about us. We're not evolving because we're humans, we're evolving because our cosmos and our Gaia Mother Earth is evolving. Blessed, much love.